Hello everyone, are you ready for girl time? It is my New Year's resolution to do a reaction kind of analysis of every Boruto chapter that comes out in the year 2023. But I feel like I can't start 2023's releases without talking about A Girl's Paradise first, because this chapter is just such a perfect like yo-yo of things that are really great and things that make me so uncomfortable. Before we get into the chapter, I do want to talk about my outfit, because I did think a lot about girly aesthetics and sleepover aesthetics for this look. Sleepover, of course, with the sleep mask and the very comfy pants, comfy socks. This even says girls rule on the bottom. I didn't do that on purpose. I've got a My Little Pony. I've got an Ouran High School Host Club shirt, because I thought it would be funny. Like, what is girlier than gender fluidity? A whole bunch of bracelets. This is a Miku one. The U is giant, because sometimes you run out of letters. That makes sense. And I've got scrunchies, of course, and scrunchies up here. So let's get into the chapter. Firstly, this splash page, I like it. I think it just makes Ida look so elegant, very model-esque. Another thing that just makes me wish that I was more knowledgeable about the world of high fashion and runway models, because it like, this is another one. It looks very much like this is a reference to something, and I have no idea what it's a reference to. I don't like the color of the coat, but you know, it's very hard to find something that is colored in a way that makes sense in this manga. So this chapter starts in the middle of the conversation where Amato is talking about his daughter, and honestly, I could have started with that chapter. I think that the way that that was told was so well done, and maybe I'll talk about it like as a retrospective at a later date, but we're in the middle of this conversation, and Boruto gets a vision from his crossing over thoughts with Momoshiki, and it has a very great expression on his face here. He's very disturbed by all the things he just saw. Momoshiki is just like kind of rolling with the punches. He's like, I don't know what's going on any more than you do. And there is a flashback to when, right after Boruto killed him, when he said, "This blue eyes shall eventually take everything from you." And I want to talk about how I think that Momoshiki is becoming more friendly to Boruto in the more recent chapters. After whatever chapter where nothing really happened, but Momoshiki was like trying to tell Boruto to just kill himself. Like, it seems like he is on the upswing of anime antagonism, where he is now trying to become the main character's friend. Maybe I'm the only one who sees that, but I am kind of wondering if this is going to become a Naruto-Kurama relationship. Although Kurama didn't really seem like he was mean to Naruto in the first place. The first time I remember him like talking to Naruto was when he was falling to his death, and he was like, "Alright, brat, I'll give you some of my energy." Obviously that wasn't the first time that Naruto had tapped into his energy, but I don't know why I said energy, it's called chakra. That's definitely not like, that is literally saving him from killing himself, which is the opposite of what Momoshiki does. But I am anticipating a less antagonistic dynamic between Momoshiki and Boruto, especially with how this chapter ends. This panel with Ida saying that Delta is nothing like AKB really, it's a little bit upsetting to me, because I wanted AKB to be someone like Delta, who was like really, I mentioned this in a video that may or may not have gone up before this video, but I like the thought that the person who, you know, this guy's trying so hard to save and bring back was not like a perfect demure little girl, because, you know, if you think about the other people who anime has tried to bring back, like the Elric's mom, All of these like just perfect demure women, usually mothers. It's like it would be cool if we got someone who was trying so hard to bring back someone who was rougher around the edges. But you know, we can't have everything. Oh my gosh, this panel where he's like, I'm just a regular citizen, I'm not even a shinobi, is so funny because no, you're not a regular citizen, Amato. You were able to crack into the data processing system of godly genetics. You're not a regular human. You can't just pass this off as like, oh, I'm just a guy. Maybe your intentions are civilian, but your abilities definitely are not. Naruto says that he's not going to interfere, which is a little bit interesting because Kawaki is his son, but I guess that this is him empowering his son to do what he chooses to do. We have a little bit of a Kawaki moment. He gets just a little bit. He acknowledges that he is able to shift his hatred from the Karma mark to the Otsutsuki, but Amato still did put that in him without his express consent, even if it like seemed like he was going to give his consent. He still did it without it. So maybe Amato is not like that nice a guy, but I think Kawaki knows that. And then he mentions Lord Seventh again. It has been a while since since his focus on Naruto has been mentioned, so I think that's a nice little moment for him. Shikamaru looks so surprised, which I don't know why. He knows that Kawaki has a very strong connection with Naruto. And then Kawaki says, do you know that your daughter won't become Otsutsuki if we bring her back in this Otsutsuki way? And this scene that follows, I really love it from an aesthetic point of view. He takes off his glasses, he puts his head in his hands, he kind of crumples up. He looks very thin and very frail, which, like, he smokes all the time. We've never seen him eat something. It is a very, like, pathetic way for him to look. Very unhealthy. Like, it is showing how much it has been wearing on him to try to bring back his daughter for all of these 12 years. Like, that is... I'm 21 years old. That's a pretty unfathomable amount of time, even for me who has lived, you know, close to twice that amount. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to say, like, this is him trying to be manipulative, because I'm sure that it is really taxing if he is telling the truth about all of this. This, like, really awful, scrunched position. Artistically, it's a great choice to make you think that he is telling the truth. And Naruto really gives him these big puppy dog eyes. He is very taken in with the story. And Kawaki seems like he doesn't know whether he's telling the truth. That's what this face says to me. And the other people seem to be affected by what I called his very, like, pathetic way about him quite a bit too. You can see Sarada is sweating, the others are pretty, I would say, shaken. And then Ida calls the meeting off. You can see Naruto is still reacting to Amato and his real, like, bout of emotion, because Amato, that's another thing, Amato is not a very emotional guy, so I'm sure that this is quite shocking for Naruto. This usually, like, pretty standoffish, really rude guy is just, like, breaking down emotionally in front of him. But I think it is a good point that Ida and Damon were just, like, trapped against their will in a cult lair for we don't know how long. It seems like less than a year, because she does, like, call herself 16 in this chapter. I don't want to discount that it's a pretty big change for her and Damon, but I think that she might just be uncomfortable. She's like, I'm done listening to this, because Amato, to her, is a very antagonistic character, and Kawaki is, like, just unamused. I think that he was not ready for the call to end. He wanted to know more. We have Boruto being unable to sleep. Ida as well. I don't know what she's looking at because she's not using the Senrai. She's not using her special eyeballs. I've never tried to pronounce it out loud. Nobody is asleep. Damon is the only one who's getting sleep. And then you have them. I don't know if they are cooking for themselves or if they have like a personal chef up there with them. It looks like they're eating like, I have no idea what this is. It's like maybe an omelet with what looks like maybe sausages and then 2 leaves and then 2 circles. Okay, but this scene is, I think it's the team kind of trying to cover their tracks, because for a very, very long time now, this comic has been going on for like 7 years, and they did not talk about anybody's age, and they were making decisions based on nobody having an age. And that is how you got the scene where Ida said that she was turned on by Boruto talking. And now you have Boruto, who is 12, and Ida, who is 16, and they are trying to make ramifications for that scene by Ida saying, yeah, you're cool, but you're 12, I'm not going to date you, which is like... And also in this scene you have Boruto kind of bickering with Damon and saying that he's going to kill him. And I kind of have a theory about this. It's, don't take it super seriously, but I kind of wonder if Boruto doesn't have a really great concept of death, because Momoshiki, he killed him and he came right back, and Boruto died, he came right back. The people who have died and not come back in this show are the antagonists and Kurama, and unfortunately, but there's nothing we can really say about it in the context of this analysis, Boruto didn't seem to have a very good connection with Kurama. Like, Kawaki seemed to have to be more connected with Kurama than Boruto was. So him being gone is not something that Boruto had to process. So I kind of wonder if he might be somewhat immune to Damon's power because he just can't like conceptualize death and therefore can't imagine it happening to Damon. But on the other hand, I don't know how much death Kawaki has experienced himself, and he was able to make Damon's power work. Although not completely, because he did not die. He just kind of... I don't know what happened to him, really. He looked like he had gotten smacked, which does not seem like it was how Damon's powers work. But again, Damon's powers are not very consistent, and I hate it, but we can't do anything about it. And then we have this horrible, horrible scene that makes me as an Ida fan look bad on all ends, where Ida basically ignores everything Kawaki is saying, and just blushes about him talking to her. And he's not like talking about fun things either. He is talking about Ida threatening to kill his brother indirectly, but like being willing to kill his brother in order to date him, which is a pretty serious... Even if you're Kawaki and you're pretty sheltered about dating and stuff, like, that's a pretty serious offense. Oh my gosh, speaking of the way that people talk, I'm gonna get into it a little bit later too, but I hate how Damon's speech has evolved. Because now he's just like, he used to say things that a kid might say, and this is a problem that only I'm going to have. He used to say things that made him have a consistent age, and now it's like his age is like whatever. He doesn't have to say things that make sense. And he's just like, very violent. He is taking any opportunity to try to try to not only fight, but fight and violently hurt Boruto and Kawaki, which is not, like, I can see why people have such an intense hatred for the situation, because not, that they're in, because they're not only, like, being trapped in a room with these people, they are trapped in a room with these people who are, like, talking about wanting to kill them and have shown in the past that they are cool with them dying. Is very, like, I'm sure that it's very, very uncomfortable for Boruto and Kawaki to be in. Oh, and this is my favorite part, because Ida is like, there aren't enough girls here. I want girls. And it's like, I want the plot twist of this arc to be that Ida likes girls, and she likes Kawaki because Kawaki looks like a butch lesbian. And is that terrible representation? Yes. It's not like Boruto is good at giving us representation, but there aren't enough girls here. And it's just like, Ida, I think you want to date girls. It's just so silly. The concept of, I want to talk to girls, and not even like adult women. She doesn't want to talk to Moegi, or not like Delta is in any kind of position to talk to her, but I don't want to talk to Delta. I want to talk to 12-year-old girls. We get a little Bronco Delta cameo. I think it's very cute. And then Shikadai comes too, and immediately gets charmed. I don't know what the purpose of this was. I guess to establish that it truly is something inherently different about Sarada and Sumire, that they are not charmed, because Shikadai was unaffected when they initially saw her, and maybe this is just establishing, like, yes, it is, you have to see her clearly in order for the charm to work. It's not about proximity or being in the same room with her or anything that I was guessing earlier. Shikamaru gave consent for Shikadai to come here, which doesn't seem like something he would be doing with his current like super untrustworthiness of everything else going on. I guess that Shikadai just had to be there for the plot. They thought that he really had to be there because it seems super inconsistent for Shikamaru to send him. We get this awful shot of Ida bending down to undo her shoes, which makes her look like her body is this big and her legs are this big. And then let's talk somewhere away from the boys turns into literally like within sight of them, which is so, I'm sure they can hear you. Yeah. Oh my gosh, another awful shot. I understand why they did an overhead shot like this, because for the rest of the conversation it's going to be straight on shots, but it's so much leg, and I like the way that Ikimoto draws legs. I think that he does the whole like fat distribution very well. However, it feels like sexualization in this shot. It feels very bad. I like conceptually that they're all just like hugging pillows. I get the feeling that Ida like hugged a pillow and the other two were just like, I think we have to hug the pillow. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing in this this fucked up little sleepover. I'm not sure if that part, if I'm counting that part in the sexualization that's going on here. But oh my gosh, the toes. I can't handle it. we have Ida saying that she believes that she is truly in love with Kawaki, and Sarada says, is this really all she thinks about? It's almost kind of stupid, which is beautiful. And then you have this portrait of her that reappears in the rest of the chapter, where she's just like peeking up over the top of the pillow with her eyes super wide. It's like making her look little girly. I don't know what this is leading up to. I just don't know. It's like, is she not really supposed to be a mastermind? Is that what's going on? Is this supposed to be showing her like duality, and that she's, I guess mastermind is the wrong word, because she's never really been like the person making the plans. She's just been doing whatever serves her purposes. But It's like, what's going on with their little huge big eyes? And again, this part where Sarada like literally has no idea what to say. It's like, why did you not ask for adult women? Does she maybe know that they are not affected by her charm? We don't know. And it seems like even though they are not charmed, Sarada is like affected by just being in such close proximity with Ida. And honestly, I get it. She if I encountered someone with lashes that long, so close to me, maybe I would be intimidated as well. And Sumire says, what do you like about Kawaki? And I want to say, I have no proof of this, but I called that this would happen, that they were all going to have a sleepover, and someone was going to ask her what she likes about Kawaki. I also called that Boruto was going to play video games with Damon, but somewhere out there is a drawing that I did of Shikadai and Sarada. Shikadai was like blindfolded. Sarada had her glasses off because I was like, they are going to test whether it really is sight that triggers her powers, and that this is how they're doing it. And Sarada is asking what she likes about Kawaki. It's not date stamped or anything, so I can't prove that I like called this before it happened, but I promise you I did. And here Ida is explaining she has no idea what she likes about him, and Sarada and Sumire just have a different conversation. Sumire makes some really intelligent points here. She's really playing the 4D chess. I like seeing her being intelligent because, you know, she is an important worker at our research facility. I think that she is more than allowed her moments of super intelligence. We have Ida talking about how she really hates her ability because she wants the, you know, she wants to live the teenage dream. We have a little bit of Shikamaru handling some stuff that's completely unrelated to aliens, which is it's nice. It's nice for him. Just getting a little break. And then we have Boruto and Damon playing Pokey Nin together, which is so lazy. But I love how he's like, you're way too young to win against me. And there is no like violent outburst from Damon, showing that he can have a little bit of ability to not react to everything with violence. Because like, as much as it sucks that that is his reaction to everything, he is a very young child, so it's like, how was he raised? He was raised to fighting Jigen. We know that he has fought Jigen before. Maybe he really just like thinks that all of his problems can be solved with violence, and in this scenario where he is playing Pokinen on the Switch with Boruto, he is in a situation where he can react to something without using violence, at least physical violence. He can try to beat him again in the video game. And then Shikamaru says what Sumire has already said, and she's like, yeah, I know, I said that, which I love. But the thing that Shikamaru really does spell out over yet another really horrible picture with bottoms and thighs is that if Sarada and Sumire might be forced to kill Ida, which again, these are children who have not had to really conceptualize death a lot, especially when they're in a bed with this girl. They're hugging pillows and talking about boys with this girl. It might be a lot. It might be a shock to their system to conceptualize killing her. And that's maybe why you get these uncomfortable expressions. And the thought that if you kill Ida, Damon will be a huge force that you're going to have to deal with. So why do I think that Sarada and Sumire are immune to the charm? The only thing that I can think about, and it is the thing that I hope that it is so little, I hope that it is not this, but I wonder if it's because they have a crush on Boruto, and somehow that transfers their Otsutsuki powers of not being influenced by her to themselves. I hope that it's not this, because that would decanonize the chapter 69 revelation that Mitsuki might have a crush on Boruto. Because I want Mitsuki to have a crush on Boruto. I think it would be so cool. I think it was so cool when they hinted at that in that chapter. But Mitsuki gets like so little in this series, and at least the manga. And if they took away one of the really interesting parts of him that they brought up, it would just be tragic. And it wouldn't just be tragic because it's like gay representation that's a little bit good. It's tragic because it's a part of his personality that has been really well established, and it's just going down the drain, you know? And then Momoshiki shows back up. Oh, I just think he's so pretty. And I like how, like, maybe this is just my headcanon and this isn't really happening. Maybe I'm imagining this, but I like to think that he is becoming more Boruto size. I think that he is becoming shorter, or has become short, and I like that a lot. I like that he's like physically becoming more like Boruto because he doesn't exist outside of his thoughts. Boruto's thoughts might be more like Momoshiki's thoughts, but he's physically staying Boruto. Momoshiki doesn't have that, and he says he knows about the charm. He doesn't tell Boruto what it is immediately, so Boruto gets mad, justifiably, and Kawaki is like, oh, you're talking to someone. Who are you talking to? And he correctly calls that he's talking to Momoshiki. And it seems like he is taking this as Momoshiki is taking over Boruto, but pretending to be him instead of coming out and immediately trying to kill everybody like he usually does. Or it's possible that he knows about this phenomenon of crossing over thoughts because it might have happened to him. I don't know. I'm not really thinking that that's what's going on. I think that he has just like been fixating on, oh, my problems are the Otsutsuki. It's not karma anymore. I think that he has been like pondering on that revelation, and he's like, oh, it's an Otsutsuki, and that's why he is like so fixated on it in this moment. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my thought and my super awesome girly sleepover outfit. Oh, and I hope you enjoyed Chocho, who's not in this chapter, but I don't have a Sarada or a Sumire. I don't even know if they make Sumire merch at all. I hope they do eventually. So if you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching, and let's hope that these boys get out of this house soon.